Hi, class. Welcome. Today, I want to walk you through just a few really important things from chapter one. So, chapter one is really setting the stage for us of of some of the reasons of why we are studying psychology, right? What is the importance of that psychological enterprise, why we are spending time really learning about those research methods. So the first question, we probably want to ask is why do research? Why bother? And I think we really kind of started to talk about this in that first session that we had last week. But when we're thinking about this kind of from the context of research, why do research? Well, particularly in psychology, we want to explain behavior, right? Very often in psychology, we ask the question, why? Why does this person behave this way? What if I provided this to an individual? Right? So here we are trying to quantify what people are doing and then trying to make predictions about that behavior. So why do we do research? Perhaps we want to describe a behavior. Maybe we're trying to predict the behavior. We may want to explain why people are doing what they do, or maybe we want to control an outcome, right? So once we have an understanding of a specific behavior, perhaps we can decrease the likelihood of some negative reaction, right? So maybe we want to control that outcome. So then the next question is, all right, fine. Now we know why we do research, but why should we know about research? Well, research is actually extremely important. In fact, most of what we know currently in the field is a direct result of scientific research. Scientific research has also become quite prominent in public policy, making jury decisions. In fact, behavioral research, developmental psychology, and neuroscience have all influenced United States Supreme Court decisions. These are all huge sub areas within psychology, right? So thinking about whether a 13-year-old should be charged as an adult. Do they understand the consequences of their behavior? In order to kind of come up with this ruling, we can go back and look at research. We also need to think about developing and assessing the effectiveness of programs. So let's say that we are trying to decrease smoking. So we want to engage in smoking cessation. Well, we might have an idea of how to help somebody do that to decrease the likelihood of them smoking, but how do we know that that program is effective? We would really need to conduct research to look at this. So we've actually used psychology and used our understanding of psychology to look at the effectiveness of programs. We know from previous research that juveniles particularly lack maturity. They might not have that character development that we do typically as an adult. This is related to the development of the prefrontal cortex, subsequent cognitive development. And so based on our understanding of this, we can create programs that will be most likely to benefit a group of individuals, right? So research is really important in this regard as well. We also need research to inform citizens and letting citizens know why kind of the methods that we have used for these everyday decisions. Just think about the COVID-19 pandemic. Our understanding currently is because researchers have been able to synthesize that information, graphically represent it, and then pass along that knowledge to all of us. I mean, we're not epidemiologists, but we're able to follow and look at trends and gain a better understanding of what's currently happening in regards to the pandemic, simply because researchers have been conducting that research and then are putting it together in digestible chunks for us to be able to look through and kind of understand in much more layman's terms, right? We also know that a lot of occupations require and use research findings. And this becomes very important. We talked about this a little bit in our last class, that even if you want to become a clinical psychologist or a counseling psychologist, knowing the current research can really help you in your therapies with your clients. And so while you might not directly be conducting the research, having a background and having an understanding of that research becomes crucial to be able to do your job effectively. And so a lot of jobs require that research. So we should be able to look at research findings and interpret that and find ways to be able to use that for ourselves. So all of these are reasons why we should be looking at research and why research is important.